This is one of the most famous photographs from World War II, but almost everything people believe about it is wrong. Taken on February 23rd, 1945, this photograph shows US Marines raising the American flag on Mount Suribachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima. Suribachi was a heavily defended volcanic mountain overlooking the island. From here, Japanese forces fired down onto the American troops landing below, inflicting heavy casualties. It was the island's most dominant strategic position, so once the summit was secured, raising the flag there wasn't just symbolic, it was a clear message that the mountain had been taken. But the story behind this image is far more complicated than most people realise. Some believe this photo shows the very first flag being raised on Suribachi. Others claim it was staged for propaganda. In reality, neither of those are true. And the deeper you look, the more complicated it gets. The flag you see here is actually the second American flag raised on Suribachi that day. Earlier that morning, Marines reached the summit and raised a smaller flag using a section of pipe. The moment was witnessed across the island and even reported by James Forrestal, who was observing offshore. According to accounts, Forrestal was so impressed that he requested the flag as a souvenir. That didn't sit well with Lieutenant Colonel Chandler Johnson. He wasn't about to let the flag that his men had fought for be taken, so instead he ordered a larger replacement flag to be brought up while the original was taken down and kept safe. Around 4 hours after the first flag was raised, the second one went up. And that's when photographer Joe Rosenthal captured this image. For a long time, most people didn't realise there were two flag raisings that day, because Rosenthal's photo became so famous the men associated with it were celebrated, appearing in war bond drives and becoming part of American history. Meanwhile, the Marines who raised the first flag were largely overlooked. Some were even accused of lying about their role. But one of the biggest misconceptions still persists today. The photo was not staged. The second flag wasn't raised for the camera, it was raised for practical reasons, and the photographers simply captured the moment as it happened. In fact, the same moment was also filmed on motion picture, proving that Marines weren't posing, they were actively raising the flag. And the confusion didn't stop there. When the photo gained national attention, the US military identified the 6 Marines in the image. 3 of them survived the war and were sent back to the United States for war bond tours. But over time, those identifications turned out to be partly wrong. Because none of the faces are clearly visible, and with so many men involved in both flag raisings, mistakes were inevitable. Harlan Block was originally misidentified as Harry Hansen. Harold Schultz was misidentified as John Bradley until 2016. And in 2019, Harold Keller was correctly identified, replacing René Gagnon. Even the men who were there struggled to remember exactly who was holding the flag at that precise moment. Despite all the confusion, the 2 flags, the misidentifications, and the accusations, this image remains one of the most iconic photographs of World War II, and rightly so.